You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
Welcome to ESPN Wednesday Night Hoops. It's a blackout in Lubbock. Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Tonight, the third-ranked Oklahoma Sooners try to regroup from Saturday's loss to Kansas. They're on the road to meet the surging Red Raiders of Texas Tech, who have pulled two straight top 25 upsets. The Jayhawks sit atop the Big 12. Oklahoma can move into a second-place tie with West Virginia with a win tonight. Tech has won 3 of its last 4. They're making a late-season NCAA tournament push. Alongside Reed Geddes, I'm Clay Matvick, and you're going to get to see Buddy Hield, the Wooden Award favorite again here tonight, Reed. But he and the Sooners coming off a poor outing by their standards. They shot a season-low 33% against the Jayhawks.
Buddy Hield has scored over 30 points 8 times this year, including the first time these two teams played in Norman earlier this year.
Texas Tech, led by 3 terrific sophomores, really playing like upperclassmen as of late.
They have been productive and they have been efficient, and they have carried the Red Raiders to 2 huge wins over the last 7 days.
There's Zach Smith and the Red Raiders in black uniforms tonight for this blackout. So Oklahoma in white dress tonight. Raina Tilley, Rick Crawford, Tony Padilla, the officiating crew. Oklahoma stomped Texas Tech by 24 January 26th. But this is an inspired team for Tubby Smith, not the same team Oklahoma saw a few weeks back. And we're underway as the Sooners control the opening tip.
Well, that first meeting, Texas Tech could not control Buddy Hield, but did a terrific job on the offensive glass. 21-8 in offensive rebounding, a plus 15 in second chance points for the Red Raiders. They will need a similar effort in this game in Lubbock tonight.
Almost an early turnover for the Sooners, and then a foul called. It's going to go against the Red Raiders. Actually, 7 seconds on the shot clock. No foul called against Gocher. There you see Tubby Smith. Here's his team playing its best ball since he came to Lubbock 3 years ago. Off the miss. Here comes Texas Tech.
Now, Texas Tech is playing with so much more confidence than we have seen them earlier this year, and a lot of different players. But those sophomores, boy, in Waco the other night in the second half, absolutely put it on the Bears. An amazing afternoon, evening of shooting the basketball in the second half for these Red Raiders.
Shot 58% that game. Got everything going right. Missed their first shot here as Gocher comes up empty from 3. Real test of the character tonight for Oklahoma. The former #1 team has lost 2 of its last 3 ball games. There's Kadeem Latin in the short corner, misses. And foul. It's going to go against Zach Smith.
It is a challenge to keep Ryan Spangler off of the glass, but Texas Tech cannot afford to lose Zach Smith. He needs to be careful not to pick up a quick second.
You see the Oklahoma lineup. And Woodard, Cousins, Hield, and Spangler, 93rd straight game where they have started. There's Buddy Hield with his first points.
He needs very little space and very little time to get that shot off.
Now just 16 points shy of 2,000 for his career. Saw the starting 5 for Texas Tech. After turnover, Cousins in transition. Woodard hops into the lane. That's rejected by Smith. Zach Smith, top shot blocker and rebounder for the Red Raiders.
Now in the top 5, watch him jump up and get this with the right hand. And boy, he is so athletic. And that's the key. If you're going to play OU, you better play transition defense.
Hield with the right hand. Latin, the rebound, gets it back out for Spangler. Doesn't go for Cousins. And a rebound for Zach Smith. Thought about the shot. Back-to-back top 25 wins against Iowa State and Baylor for Texas Tech. Never won 3 straight against a top 25 opponent. 3 balls off the mark for Justin Gray, his 5th straight game in the starting 5.
Lon Kruger's got to be very pleased with the way OU has started this game on the defensive end. Tech yet to have a good look at the basket.
0 for 2. There's Hield trying to create, and he's fouled. Matthew Temple with the personal as you look at Lon Kruger. He's improved the Sooners every year since arriving in Norman. 5 different programs he's taken to the NCAA tournament. Lost only 1 starter from that Sweet 16 team last year. Everyone knew this was going to be a very good Sooners team. And Buddy Hield rarely misses at the free throw line.
Those are staggering numbers. 27 points per game. Free throw has been at 90% or above the entire season. And statistically, it is a historic season that Buddy Hield has put together so far.
He didn't have any field goals in the first half of that game against Kansas. Devontae Graham was all over him.
Ended up 5 for 15 in that game.
Temple with the first points as Texas Tech is on the board.
Matthew Temple, the walk-on, had a good game the first time these two teams played. Had 11 points, a career high for Temple.
Cousins over Gocher, well defended, draws iron. Hield tracks it down in the corner. Spangler moving in on Temple. It's not going to bounce by Temple. Oklahoma will keep it.
Keenan Evans doing a nice job finding Matt Temple, but look at him with his hands up. He turned, he opened up his body, and had his hands up. Maybe not as high as Keenan Evans would have liked, but boy, anytime Matt Temple's giving you points, those are bonus points.
Keenan Evans so good at his best when he drives, and even if he's not scoring, he's getting to the line or he's helping somebody else score. Ball comes loose to Latin. Hield wide open for 3. And he's got all of Oklahoma's points.
What a play by Kadeem Latin, not only to pick up that ball, to turn and hand it off to Buddy Hield and set a screen for him.
Temple rattles off Spangler. Averages about 10 rebounds per game, the number 2 rebounder in the Big 12. And that's been the story for Jordan Woodard. They really need to get his confidence back. But the offensive rebound keeps it alive. Swirls out for Cousins.
Jordan Woodard has really struggled the last 5 games, shooting just 17% behind the three-point line. And he's still second in the Big 12 in three-point field goal percentage.
Lon Kruger telling you and I this morning he's just going to let him shoot himself out of it.
But here's what I know about a slump. Nobody ever not shoots their way out of a slump.
Yeah.
You got to shoot that ball, and you got to have confidence, and Lon Kruger's got confidence in him.
Zach Smith, the guy that Texas Tech is very confident in, has his first 2. He had 16 and 9 in a career-best 39 minutes on Saturday against Baylor.
He was really good, and that's coming off the game in which he was outstanding against Iowa State. Well, that's a travel that Latin got away with.
It's a cold shooting start for Oklahoma, 2 of 12. But Buddy Hield has 7. All 7 of Oklahoma's points. Gocher for 3. This is not a very good three-point shooting team, Texas Tech. 33% on the year.
Good defense by Gray.
Woodard, good shot fake, leans in, misses it, got his own miss, but couldn't get the putback. Gray against Hield, attacks. And a foul against Gray. Timeout in Lubbock. 7-4 Oklahoma. Since this place is pretty much full tonight is because Texas Tech is red hot. How about Keenan Evans in overtime against Iowa State last week? The three-pointer off the out-of-bounds play was essentially the game winner. The second straight year Tech takes down a ranked Iowa State team. here in Lubbock. And then on Saturday against number 21 Baylor in Waco, a terrific second half for Texas Tech as they win it going away 84-66, back-to-back wins over top 25 teams. Alongside former Houston Cougar Reed Geddes, I'm Clay Matvick, and Tubby Smith has this team in the conversation now for the NCAA tournament.
You know, it's amazing the difference a week can make. A week ago, this was a good basketball team with an outstanding strength of schedule, but Tubby Smith and his coaches still looking for signature wins, the kind of wins that would get you out of the first four out and get you into the NCAA tournament. A week later, fast forward, and now suddenly they have two signature wins over Iowa State here in Lubbock, against Baylor in Waco, and then suddenly that first Big 12 win against Texas looks a whole lot better into February than it did in January.
5-7 in the Big 12 coming into the night. Can get to 8, that would be the magic number. With the Spangler miss, Devontae Williams, who was a starter for the lion's share of the year, now coming off the bench for Tubby Smith, has it at the point, drives the lane, it's partially blocked. Hield falling away, got the three.
But for Buddy Hield, I'm not sure anybody has made a shot yet. He is absolutely on fire. Picking up right where he left off last time these two teams played.
He's got all 3 of Oklahoma's field goals and all 10 of their points. Now just 9 points shy of 2,000 for his career. Needs 3 more threes to break the Oklahoma single season record. Aaron Ross with the miss, and it's a terrible shooting start for Texas Tech. They're 2 of 9. Hield penetrates. Baseline pass to Spangler, lost it, and Oklahoma turns it over.
A good hustle by Keenan Evans. Well, Oklahoma's defense has been really good to start this game. Texas Tech not getting many good looks at the basket.
Zach Smith left alone on the baseline. He's got 4 now. Sophomore from Plano, Texas. He has started to provide a lot more consistency for Tubby Smith.
He's averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds and 3 blocked shots in the last 2 games, really playing with more confidence.
Under 12 minutes to go here in the half. Getting loose on the baseline is Jamani McNeese. Oklahoma's first 2-point field goal tonight.
You have to be able to keep Isaiah Cousins in front of you. If you help on the dribble drive, the way Oklahoma spreads out with those shooters, there's just nobody down there to help the helper.
Ross got it. The junior from Little Rock, he's been their best player lately. Double figures in 5 straight for the first time in his career.
He leads Texas Tech in Big 12 games in scoring, coming off the bench at 12 points per game. Now, Buddy Hield absolutely on fire to start this game in Lubbock.
We've got another Hardwood Super Saturday in primetime coming your way. It's Tyler Eulis, number 14 Kentucky, taking on Texas A&M and College Station at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Then in the NBA at 8:30 on ABC, it's Steph Curry and the Warriors at the Staples Center to battle Chris Paul and the Clippers. And the Warriors ahead of the Bulls' 72-win pace of 20 years ago. Just an amazing start to this season for Golden State.
An amazing start to this game for Buddy Hield. Already 3 for 3 from behind the line, 10 points, and we're not even 10 minutes into this game.
Now Oklahoma not shooting well otherwise, 4 of 17 as a team. Under 24%. Hield for 3 again. That one's in and out.
Well, Aaron Ross made a defensive mistake there and let Buddy Hield come off that on-the-ball screen and never stepped up to help defensively, and you just can't let Buddy Hield have clean looks at the basket. He's going to shoot 50% when you're contesting him and harassing him and double-teaming him, and if you're letting him just look at it, you're in trouble.
Aaron Ross with the miss. Consider the job Devontae Graham did against him. No field goals in the first half. Still ended up with 24 against Kansas. And it's a foul. It's Devin Thomas.
Clay, in theory, this is how you defend Buddy Hield. You have a long athletic player who meets him outside the three-point line, somebody that can move his feet and long enough and athletic enough to contest his shots. And so, in theory, Justin Gray has the right skill set. Very similar player to Wesley Awundu, who had some success defending Buddy Hield. But, you know, all that theory sounds good until you're out there on the court and you're looking square in the eyes of number 24. And, boy, when you see him in person, you just don't appreciate the speed and how lightning quick his release is. And he does not need to jump up over you, even though he can. He can just lean back, and if he can create a sliver of daylight, well, that shot's going up.
Buddy Hield, we said it before, Wooden Award favorite, cinched to be the Big 12 Player of the Year for the second straight season. Here's Aaron Ross working around for C.J. Williamson, the true freshman, getting more playing time lately. A long three from well behind the arc for Williamson, his fourth three-point make of the year.
Oh, gosh, he pulled up, and I'm thinking, what makes you think you ought to shoot that? And, well, he buried a big jump shot.
And Spangler traveled. Defense by Temple.
Boy, look at where C.J. Williamson is on the floor when he shoots this ball. He's almost standing in Wichita Falls on the floor. My goodness.
Product of Evans High School in Orlando. Second all-time in scoring behind Daryl Dawkins at that high school.
That's a pretty good list to be on.
How about that pass from Temple to a cutting Devontae Williams, and we're tied.
Devontae Williams was outside the three-point line on the opposite side of the floor, came off a double screen, and nice hard cut to the basket.
Hield misses. Ross the rebound. Tech in transition. Ross for three. First lead for the Red Raiders. Woodard. That's got to feel good for Jordan Woodard. His first basket is a three. 2 for his last 13 from outside the arc before that make.
Oh, that is huge for Jordan Woodard.
And then he picks up a personal. First team foul on Oklahoma. Meanwhile, Tech has 5. Talking about milestones, Hield closing in on 2,000 points, and the school's single season 3 record. Woodard closing in on 1,000 career points as well. Temple hops into the paint, that spins off. Got his own miss, looking for help. Feeds Ross, got it! And Woodard quiets the crowd back down, but Matthew Temple, not bad for a kid that they found in the rec league.
Look, he got away with 3 seconds. He went down there and he was stuck, and he picked up the ball. Aaron Ross bailed him out, but Lon Kruger was going nuts because he never left the lane.
Williams drives, and he draws the charge. Ryan Spangler picking up his first foul.
And Matt Temple playing with confidence. Look at Devontae Williams. Terrific cut off of Aaron Ross. And here's that last assist where he got stuck under the basket and never left the lane. So he stuck there, and if you were counting, but Aaron Ross did a nice job of bailing him out. But you're exactly right. Well, Matt Temple, when you start looking at the game plan of guys that are going to impact the game, especially on the offensive end, I'm not sure Matt Temple makes the scouting report.
Matthew Temple had a career-high 11 against Oklahoma the last time these two teams met. He has done a pretty good job stepping up, as guys have been asked to do, with about 6'9" center Noren Sodiasi out with a broken foot. He's going to be out a couple more weeks. So guys have had to stand in, and Temple's been one of them. Off the missed free throw, Williams giving Tech a fresh possession. Tied at 20, under 8 to go here in the half.
We're looking hard to get Zach Smith isolated down inside.
Wide open for three, but Williamson doesn't hit that time. Wide open look for Dante Buford. Redshirt freshman. One and done for Oklahoma.
A lot of standing all of a sudden for Texas Tech.
Shot clock at 5. It's Thomas. Split the defense. Goes to the other side of the rim with a pretty finish.
Almost a perfect possession for Texas Tech. They take that shot clock all the way down to 1 and then end up with an uncontested layup.
JC transfer with his first 2. Oklahoma almost coughed it up. And that's going to be a foul on Tech. And it's the second on Matthew Temple.
Now scoring punch off of the bench for Tubby Smith. Thomas with 1 on the shot clock all the way to the basket. Nice move.
Texas Tech with a 2-point lead on number 3 Oklahoma. There was 6.5 to go in the first half. This is the only game in the Big 12 tonight. Kansas all alone in first place after West Virginia lost to Texas last night, completing that season sweep due to the Longhorns. Kansas still has road games at K-State, Baylor, and Texas, but right now the road to a 12th straight Big 12 regular season title runs through Lawrence, Kansas.
Interesting talking to Tubby Smith today. You and I, were commenting on how much things can change in the Big 12, and he looked at us and said, except Kansas.
Except Kansas.
He just went on and on. Just gushing about the job Bill Self has done and the relative lack of attention that the accomplishment of being on the verge of the 12th consecutive title is receiving right now. And boy, Tubby Smith just went on and on about it. Respect and much love for the Jayhawks and Bill Self.
And Isaiah Cousins took a poke to the right eye.
Now, Lon Kruger's asking why wasn't that a foul? If a foul was not called, you cannot go to the monitor and call a common foul. This is not a situation where you would review for a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2, so you can't just go over there and go, well, we missed it. Now, obviously, he got hit in the face.
Hopefully Isaiah Cousins is going to be able to return. Here's another look. Keenan Evans got his hand right up in the face.
It's like the Three Stooges defense.
Yeah. And if Cousins can't return, I mean, that's a big loss, but it looks like he's going to be able to shake it off. 14 points, 5 rebounds.
Man, how good has he been the last?
Terrific.
Gee whiz, last 8 games, he has been outstanding. 18 points per game, shooting over 55, 57% behind the three-point line.
Angel Walker, number 2 in there now for Oklahoma. JC transfer from Canada. One of the rare veterans off the bench for Lon Kruger. And shot clock violation, well defended by Texas Tech.
Well, we bragged about Lon Kruger's defense to start this game, and Tubby Smith has got to be equally pleased with the way they are defending the Sooners, Lon Kruger's team just shooting 27% against Tubby Smith's defense. And most importantly, here we are, 6 minutes to go in the first half. Oklahoma still has not scored a fast break point.
Yeah, we knew Texas Tech was going to try and slow this game down. Something in the 60s would be ideal for the Red Raiders. There's Aaron Ross. Smith pulls up for 3. And a Buddy Hield rebound. He averages 6 of those per game. The alley-oop pass to Buford. He adjusts, leans in, and got it to go against Smith.
Dante Buford doing a nice job of not doing anything until he had gathered himself and had balance.
redshirt freshman from Greenville, South Carolina. Might be the most athletic guy on the team. He's their best dunker. And all the players. Williams has it poked away.
Good play. That's going to be OU's ball.
It is.
What a play by Jordan Woodard. Reached over the top of Williams and knocks it against his leg. Watch, first the strip. Now watch him poke that ball against Williams' leg. Nice play by Jordan Woodard.
Chance for Oklahoma to go back in front as we go under 5 minutes. And an illegal screen on Kadeem Latin. It's number 1 on him. Next week on ESPN's Big Monday, Malcolm Brogdon and number 7 Virginia taking on number 11 Miami. And it's 7 Eastern in the ACC. Then we head to the Big 12. Iowa State and West Virginia, number 13 against number 10 in Morgantown. Iowa State lost another overtime game last night in Waco.
Jonathan Motley went nuts in that game, and Terry Maston off the bench. Rico Gathers did not play, not because of a suspension on the foul that he took against Justin Gray, but because he was sick. And
Denzel Walker just committed his first foul.
This play right here, this is one of the new emphasis that they're not going to allow moving screens, but that play is not Kadeem Latin's fault. That's Buddy Hield's fault. You have got to, it's better to be late than early. You've got to wait as a ball handler. When you're going to get an on-the-ball screen, you've got to wait until you hear both feet pop. And so Kadeem Latin was coming out and trying to get set, and Buddy Hield needs to wait one more second until he gets there. And they need to keep doing it because Aaron Ross is not coming up and helping on that screen. And so if Buddy will wait one more count, he's going to have a clean look coming off that screen.
Another free throw for Evans. This is the best free throw shooting team in the Big 12 at 75%. Evans gets 2 of 3.
5 of their top 6 players all shoot over 78% from the free throw line. Only Zach Smith is below 78%.
And that's helped him here in recent weeks, winning some of these closer games. They've been in a lot of close ones, and just until recently they've started to win some of them. Ball was kicked.
They're talking about winning games against Baylor. They were 23 of 28 from the free throw line. I really think that's ultimately going to be a key in this game, Clay. I think Texas Tech's going to need to get to the free throw line about 25 times to win this game.
They've only been there 5 times so far. Not a game left here. 12 on their shot clock. Cousins goes in, finishes. Isaiah Cousins. His first 2 points.
He's been really good off the dribble drive and a beautiful left hand to avoid Zach Smith blocking that shot. A little surprised Texas Tech's not going inside more. I would get that ball into Zach Smith and let him try to operate.
That's a foul on the floor. No basket for Keenan Evans. 3:50 to go here in Lubbock in the first half in a tie game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2016 John R. Wooden Award Men's Player of the Year.
People forget that OU not only beat them, but they blasted them.
Soundly. Yep.
Yeah, it was soundly. You talk to the Oklahoma coaches and Lou Hill and talked to Steve Henson over there, and they said, you know, we thought we were going to be good. We weren't sure. We go to play Villanova, and all of a sudden we look up the score and we think, huh, that's interesting. I mean, they put it on them, beat them 78-55. They have beat 5 ranked opponents, 4 in the Big 12 this year, and then the aforementioned Villanova.
Joe Lunardi still has them as a 1 seed, but a loss tonight to Texas Tech would likely change that. Ross backing in, scores again. He has been absolutely terrific. He's got double figures already, and Texas Tech leads.
A nice adjustment by Tubby Smith coming out of that timeout to throw the ball into the post. I believe that's the first time Texas Tech has thrown the ball into the paint.
Ross, who comes off the bench, part of the output. 18 bench points for Tech.
Man.
Tough shot there for Jordan Woodard.
Well, Jordan Woodard is feeling it, and if you're a Sooner fan, man, is that a welcome sight. Todrick Gocher could not have defended that play any better.
Evans, the floater, doesn't go. And Cousins back on the floor. Good to see. Took that poke in the eye a few minutes back. Hield drives, trying to make the extra pass for Spangler, broken up. Smith gets it ahead. Now Texas Tech had a couple of cracks at it. Come up empty. 3-on-2. Woodard all alone for three.
A beautiful 3-on-2. Credit Buddy Hield for that basket, but for the fact that he's running the lane hard on the left side of the court, Jordan Woodard would not have found himself all by himself. And when Buddy Hield's hustling and running the lane, you have got to favor that side of the court. And Jordan Woodard's having himself a half a basketball. Look at the bottom of your screen. You see him clapping like that, and you see underneath the basket, whoever you are, you've got to fade that way. That was Gocher that was sliding out and just kind of fading out towards Buddy.
He is going to draw attention.
You know, do your job. Your job doesn't always mean you're going to get the basket or the shot or perhaps even touch the ball, and yet you can still influence the play.
Ross was stripped. Again, Oklahoma in transition. Tech able to get back this time. Gocher cutting off Hield. Forced him to take a tough shot, but he kisses it off the glass.
Holy cow, if you're Todrick Gocher, that's twice in a row. You've played as good a defense as you can play, and yet somebody for Oklahoma's knocked down a shot.
A 7-point run for Oklahoma. Justin Gray. He led the Raiders with 20 in Norman on January 26th. That's his first basket here tonight. Back to a 3-point difference. Under a minute and a half to go here in the first. Spangler. Bad look at a three. Missed everything. And they're going to climb all over him.
That's Buddy Hield with the up fake. Look at Gocher. He's outside the 3-point line. He's moving his feet. He's got his body off of him. He's contesting him. And still Buddy Hield scores.
Hield with a dozen. Just 7 points shy of that 2,000 career plateau.
We thought he would get there. We didn't think he'd get there in the first half.
And he only needs 2 more threes to break the single-season record at Oklahoma. By Nate Erdman in the mid-90s. Ross drives. Fouled. He'll be on the line. Boy, Aaron Ross has been very good for Texas Tech. Talking Super Saturday, Kentucky and Texas A&M. A&M stopping their free fall with a win over Ole Miss last night. And in the NBA, 8:30 on ABC Saturday, Steph Curry and the Warriors at Staples Center to take on the Clippers. Saturday primetime, presented by La Quinta.
Conference games, Aaron Ross leads the conference in free throw shooting at 93%.
He was just a glue guy in the non-conference portion.
We thought.
Yeah, in the non-conference portion
that's
of the season.
That's a great point. And last year, you know, he suffered through so many injuries, and he's a kid that stayed positive and has worked hard. He's one of those kids that you're happy to see him have success because he had so many setbacks in his career. But you're right. I would have described him as kind of a blue-collar, dirty work, you know, get in there and do the work that nobody else wants to do. And, boy, he has been anything but. He has been very, very good for Tubby Smith.
Lon Kruger trying to use that timeout with 50 seconds to go in the half. Here's the tournament resume for Texas Tech. They're even better than under consideration right now. Lenardi has him in his first 4 out. They have a terrific RPI, 31. Their strength of schedule is 3. You alluded to the quality wins.
Wait,
earlier.
You said that fast.
Strength of schedule, 3.
3.
That was not a mistake. 3. So certainly, if they can get to 8, in the Big 12, they're going to be the conversation.
But, all they lacked were those signature wins. And Tubby Smith kept saying, we're so close and we're so close. And then suddenly here we are a week later. He's got 2 signature wins, and one he got in January suddenly has now become a signature win, the game over the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, Shaka Smart has Texas playing terrific basketball. That's an elbow by Hield. Offensive foul.
Yeah, they're going to go review that, and that's going to be a basketball play. He did not look him in the eyes, and I don't think that's going to be a flagrant one, but Justin Gray, man, we saw him Saturday against Baylor get popped 2 or 3 times. Buddy Hield just trying to do a rip over the top, and he didn't look at him. That was not unnecessary or excessive. That's just going to be a common foul.
And it appears to be the same side of the face.
He's got stitches in that eye, yeah.
Rico Gathers clobbered him over the weekend. Stitches over his left eye. There's another look.
Again. See, he's trying to rip the ball over the top, but that wasn't excessive. You think about a flagrant 1 when they look at him and they really swing it hard, and then flagrant 2 is when it's unnecessary and excessive and intentional, and I'll be surprised if that's anything but a common foul.
That did look
a couple years ago, that had been an automatic flagrant 1.
Yeah.
Automatic.
We're taking a second hard look at it here at the monitor. And Raina Tilley talking to the scores table. It didn't appear to be near the eye. It was in the
Well, he didn't look at him. He didn't size him up. Looks like they're going to call a flagrant 1.
And Buddy Hield pleading his case to Raina Tilley. I don't think it's going to get him anywhere. It is a flagrant 1.
Now, credit Justin Gray. I mean, that was because he put so much pressure on Buddy. And part of that is because you have to. You cannot leave a sliver of daylight for Buddy Hield. And so Justin Gray was pushed up against his body. And when you have a defender that close to you, you have to be extremely careful if you're going to rip over the top. And it's probably better for Buddy is to take that ball and rip it down low and bring it down low, up and under, as opposed to trying to go over the top.
1 of 2, but Tech will get the ball back as well.
You agree with that call? He got hit smack in the face.
It knocked him down. I mean, he was trying to clear, but it got him right in the face with the elbow. I don't have an argument with it. 1-point game. Texas Tech has the lead. Won't have a chance to have the last shot, it doesn't look like.
A really good half of basketball we've enjoyed here in Lubbock.
Evans, the alley-oop to Smith, and he adjusted in midair.
He was outside the backboard when he reached over and caught that ball in front of his face. What a play by Zach Smith.
Gocher ahead of the horn. An 8-0 run to close out the half for Texas Tech.
And a remarkably athletic play by Zach Smith, and then the court presence of Todrick Gocher, the senior, to look up at the clock and realize how much time he had. He got that ball with 3.9 seconds, realized he had 3 dribbles. Instead of pulling up for a prayer, takes that ball all the way to the rim. What a remarkable way to end the half for the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
34-31 Raiders. Now we go to Matt Schick and Dino Gaudio in the studio for the halftime report.
Thank you, guys. Texas Tech with a 3-point lead there in Lubbock. Maybe a week and a half ago.
You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
ESPN Wednesday Night Hoops Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. And can Texas Tech get a top 25 upset for their 3rd straight game? They have a 3-point lead as we get ready for the second half. He's Reed Geddes, former Phi Slamma Jamma guy from Houston. I'm Clay Matvick. And Texas Tech got great production from an assortment of characters. 9 guys in the scoring column in that first half.
And 8 of them are between 2 and 6. But for Oklahoma, Buddy Hield started this game, scored the first 10 points for Oklahoma, including 3 of 3 from behind the three-point line. And when no other Sooner could make a jump shot, as we've seen all season long, get the ball to Buddy, and he was outstanding in the first half.
There's Aaron Ross with 11 points in the first half, and then Gocher just ahead of the buzzer. This is a team with so much confidence right now. And the sophomores, we talked about them at the top of the broadcast. Zach Smith leading that group with 6. But again, so many guys contributing.
Well, this is what the entire roster has done. For Tubby Smith, he's got 8 guys in the first half that scored between 2 and 6 points, and then Aaron Ross's 11 points. So tremendous balance in the first half for Texas Tech. Oklahoma, not quite as much balance in that Spangler, Latin, and Cousins combined for just 2 points in the first half.
See the first half statistics. Spangler with a rebound. He said no points, but he's got 4 boards now. So we'll see if Oklahoma can settle in here in the second half. Down 3. This crowd has been a factor. Spangler gets his first points.
Yeah, great play call out of the locker room to start second half by Lon Kruger. Get that ball inside and see if you can get Ryan Spangler going.
Yeah, he is shooting close to 55% on the season. That's 3rd best in the Big 12, but went 0 for 3 in the first half.
I don't remember him touching the ball inside the paint in the first half. He took that ugly 3 where he kind of felt like he had to, and that was a good play call by Lon Kruger.
Shot clock under 5. Temple gets it off in time, rolls off the rim, and Latin plucks the rebound. Didn't have any blocks in the first half, Kadeem Latin. He had 8 against Tech in the first meeting. Hield for 3. Off the lip. Buddy Hield was really good for about 3-4 minutes in that first half. That was a stretch where he's fairly quiet. Smith got his own miss. Strong move back to score.
Yeah, I really like Zach Smith when he's attacking the basket and not just settling for going up and pulling up for 15-foot jump shots.
Woodard had a great first half with 13 points.
Yeah, but Texas Tech continues. Whoever's defending the screener is not coming up with the screener to help, and Jordan Woodard comes off of an on-the-ball screen, and he's all by himself. And Jordan Woodard, who has struggled so much in the last 5 games, was great in the first half.
Nice foul on Gocher. Hield attacks, got it and 1.
All right, the first half, when they called the flagrant 1, the officials came over and said, look, that is a classic flagrant 1. Now look, instead of ripping over the top, watch him rip the ball down low, brings that ball all the way down almost to the ground, does a rip move, and then gets to the basket.
And that's what the officials likely told him was the mistake. Wow, another rare miss at the line for Hield. And he corrects himself.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the officials came over and told us, said, look, that's just classic. That is the play that this rule was instituted to avoid, is when somebody rips through over the top and catches a defender square in the face with an elbow.
6th lead change here tonight as Oklahoma regains the lead, 37-36. Gocher with 5 to shoot, lost it in the paint. Smith gets it back out on the perimeter. Temple for 3. That's not his shot, but he got it.
How about Matt Temple? His 3rd three-pointer of the season was 2 for 4 before that.
Cousins lobbed it up for Latin. That failed to click. Coming back, Texas Tech. Evans fancy dribbling to keep possession. Jump ball call. Possession arrow gives it to the Sooners. Maybe got a little too fancy.
Matt Temple with a pick and pop late in the shot clock had no alternative but to shoot this ball, and Matt Temple has been very solid here this evening.
Temple's got 5. He's got a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. Bad for the walk-on. He's playing without goggles tonight. Had an eye injury suffered in the Texas game a few weeks back.
He wore them Saturday in Waco, and then he warmed up with them here this evening, and not sure when he took them off, but boy, that eye looked bad. He came over and showed it to us on Saturday, and it was just full of blood.
He didn't like wearing the goggles. He admitted that. He played well with them. Now, did Hield push off there? Crowd thought so. No whistle.
Yeah, he absolutely pushed off.
Gocher for three. A little bit strong. Temple backside rebound. And he's fouled by Kadeem Latin, who picked up his second.
Watch Buddy Hield's right arm on Justin Gray. Gets him off balance and then just extends him and gives him a little bit of a push. And a lot of that is because Gray was off balance, but clearly Buddy Hield got away with one.
Jamani McNeese is going to come back into the game for Oklahoma.
Now that play looked incredibly similar to the foul that Isaiah Taylor got called for in the Texas game the other day that Oklahoma held on to win.
Better hurry up and get it in. Justin Gray. And did not. It's a 5-second violation.
Now, Tubby Smith, what he's saying is you blew the whistle after the ball was out of his hands, and all he's got to do is get rid of the ball. You know, the rule isn't that you have to catch the ball in bounds within the 5 seconds.
Woodard cut off. Here's Hield over Smith for three. Spins off. Spangler tried to tip it back out. Picked off by Williams. And Keenan Evans penetrates, backs up. Little stutter step and scores.
Well, what a hesitation dribble that time by Keenan Evans. Just stood Jamani McNeese straight up with a hesitation dribble.
Foul here on Smith. And Evans with the basket. This is the biggest lead for Texas Tech.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2016 John R. Wooden Award Men's Player of the Year.
Clay Matvick and Reed Geddes back here in Lubbock, where the lead is now 4 for Texas Tech on number 3, Oklahoma. Reed, take us inside the play.
Texas Tech doing a better job helping on the ball screens. Watch Zach Smith coming straight up to Ryan Spangler. This is called a flat hedge. So on the ball screens, you see Zach Smith. He turns and he gets his shoulders parallel to the free throw line. Does not allow Buddy Hield to turn that corner, and yet stays close enough to get a hand up, contest the shot, make Buddy Hield shoot over an extended hand, and a very nice job of a flat hedge on Buddy Hield. And you know, I've been critical of Zach Smith and his teammates. The bigs have not been going up. Whoever's defending the screener, they've been allowing those OU players just to come off screens uncontested. And that time Buddy Hield got a lot of attention coming off the screen.
Hield 14 points on 5 of 11. He's 3 of 7 from 3, has 5 rebounds and an assist. Spangler with the right hand, nothing to show for that. It was halfway down. Kept alive. Woodard gets fouled, and he'll be on the line. Well, you're right about Jordan Woodard tonight. He's been terrific.
He's been aggressive down there rebounding. He averages 3 rebounds a game to go along with his 13 points. And look at him down there just fighting hard to get this rebound. He had nowhere to go with it. I mean, he was stuck down there and had nothing to do with it. And that is absolutely the right call. You saw Thomas reach in there with his arm and slap Woodard as he was going up.
With the exception of that rebound by Woodard, Texas Tech has done a nice job on the boards tonight. They're even with the Sooners at 22 rebounds apiece.
You know, the first time these two teams played in Norman, the rebounding total was relatively even, but the offensive rebounding was incredibly skewed in favor of Texas Tech, 21-8 in offensive rebounding.
C.J. Williamson trying to thread it underneath to Thomas.
C.J. Williams needs to take a deep breath and realize that nobody likes a spectacular turnover. Just make the easy pass.
A lot of wet behind the ears players for Tubby Smith. A lot of rookies.
Dribbling behind his back and throwing behind the back, bounce passes and trying to thread the needle. And the best pass in basketball is always the easiest.
There he is from the corner. That's a foul on the floor.
Clay, how good has Matt Temple been?
Oh, terrific.
It's unbelievable how much he is contributing to Texas Tech right now. On the glass, passing, knocking down shots when he has to, being a physical presence inside.
He won a couple of fraternity titles in the campus recreational league.
Delta Tau Delta.
Walked on here at Texas Tech, and he's been a godsend for Tubby Smith, especially since Noren Sodiase's got out.
Come on, when's the last time you read a player's bio and it was talking about the Delta Tau Delta fraternal championships?
He's got hardware.
All I know is, man, the Sigma Chi's were in trouble because Matt Temple can play basketball.
At that time, he's not happy. He was called for the foul there, and that's 3 on him. Tubby Smith telling his guys to hurry up and get back and play defense. Don't mope. And get the call. 2-point game. Oklahoma can take the lead with a 3. Cousins takes it in deep, gets it back out. Woodard will launch a triple. Off the heel, Ross goes up for the board. 6 of 17 are the Sooners from outside.
Well, Matt Temple's posted up inside.
Ross thought about it long and hard, missed. Best 3-point shooting team in the country. Oklahoma hasn't had a great night outside. Woodard will go to the line again.
Does such a nice job of jump stopping and then up faking, getting the defensive player off of his feet and then initiating contact, getting to the foul line. You have to pick up Buddy Hield beyond the 3-point line. Right there, Devontae Williams, very nice job. And we talked to Tubby Smith before the game about, how do you match up with him in transition. I think he's got to be pleased. The results, they've held him to very few fast break points, and Tubby's got to be very pleased with the way they played defensively, especially on Buddy here in the second half.
Well, Jordan Woodard just picked up his 1,000th career point at Oklahoma. They have 3 players on their roster right now. Woodard, Cousins, and Hield over 1,000 career points. And we might see Hield get to 2,000 here tonight. 41 apiece. Oklahoma getting a rub from the Texas Tech Red Raiders, trying to pull off their 3rd straight top 25 upset. Beat Iowa State in overtime a week ago tonight. Baylor, number 21 in the country, over the weekend. Ross hops into the lane. Fouled hard, goes down. As Jamuni McNeese clobbered him.
Now, Aaron Ross is so good at the 3-point line that when he pops out there, if you're McNeese, you've got to respect his shot. And hard for those big guys to close out all the way beyond the 3-point line and then still control somebody off the dribble.
He's 6'10", 215 pounds, went down hard on Ross, shakes it off, steps to the line, an 86% foul shooter. This is his 6th straight double-figure game. We talked about him in the first half, what he has meant to this team during this little hot streak for Texas Tech.
In conference games, he's in the top 15 scoring, the only Red Raider in the top 15. He's in the top 10 in 3-point field goal percentage and a 3-point field goals made.
It's the only Red Raider in double figures so far tonight. And this is that one. He's got a dozen in this game. 42-41, Texas Tech. A little floater for McNeese. He had 2 in the first half. It's his first basket here in the second half.
I believe Oklahoma's 3 for 4 when they get the ball to that left block here in the second half.
7 ties. 8th lead change now as Oklahoma regains the front spot. Nice move by Williams to go around the defense. Unable to finish, but draws the foul. And it's on Spangler. That's number 3 on Ryan. Number 7, Virginia. Number 11, Miami. 7 Eastern time. Big Monday then. The Big 12, Iowa State taking on West Virginia, 9 Eastern. The game's also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
How bad do the Cyclones need Jameel McKay to get back on the same page with his teammates?
It's pretty much a non-factor.
0 points and 3 rebounds in the game in Lubbock in Waco last night.
Cousins draws iron. Nice rebound to Nice. Back out there for Cousins. Doesn't get it on the second try. Spangler. It's another rebound, and he's fouled over the back.
A nice job by McNeese getting that rebound, not forcing something back, kicking it out to a wide open Isaiah Cousins, and it's a good play.
Oklahoma in the bonus, so they'll have the 1-and-1.
Yeah, Ryan Spangler is one of those guys that he's just so hard to figure out why he's so effective. Averaging just a hair under a double-double for the season. Has as good a nose for the basketball as anybody I've seen in the last 20 years.
Not having a big scoring output night, just 2 points, but he does have 5 rebounds.
He's 27 career double-doubles, 10 this season. Has 3 double-doubles in the last 5 games.
After that 1 year at Gonzaga, got homesick, and boy, Oklahoma was glad to get him back in their program. Gocher. McNeese now with 3 fouls. So Todrick Gocher will step to the line. Came out of the slump he was in a week ago with 18 against Oklahoma State, which was a couple weeks ago.
Texas Tech is really missing some opportunities. The best free throw shooting team in the Big 12, and they are suddenly missing free throws. Todrick Gocher, an 87% free throw shooter.
Gocher gets the back end, but it hasn't been a great night for Texas Tech at the line, and we were extolling their virtues at the stripe earlier. Still a lot of game left, but they're 7 of 13.
And I think 4 of those misses, 4 of those 6 misses have been here in the second half.
Cousins around Evans. Boy, the crowd thought Evans had all ball, but he's going to be called for the personal, and that's his 3rd. And so Cousins will shoot free throws.
Isaiah Cousins dips his shoulder so well. When he starts his dribble drive, whichever way he's going, that time you see him dip that right shoulder, and once he gets that shoulder past the defensive player, well, something positive is going to happen for the Sooners.
You mentioned how Spangler, Cousins, and Latin were really no-shows in that first half. 4 total points for those guys here in the second half. Still nothing from Latin. Ron Kruger's got him on the bench right now. Devontae Williams, the pass to Smith, the hook shot. Got his own miss. Hard-working Zach Smith ties it up at 45. And a foul underneath on McNeese. Texas Tech smelling maybe another upset, tied at 45.
Who's gonna be the one? Who's gonna be the same? Looks like you gotta love till the next one shows up. You gotta be the easiest to please. Who's gonna be the secret of the way?
Tie game here in Lubbock. This has been entertaining. 45 apiece. These Reed Gettersign play Matvick. And Dave Boren, Oklahoma president, stated this week a vote on Big 12 expansion, a championship football game, and a conference network could be coming this summer. And you can see what he says here. We sort of said to ourselves, come this summer, we're going to have to finally make a decision about what we do. I thought the Big 12 ADs and presidents were going to let Commissioner Bob Bowlesby be the voice on this.
Wow, is what I have to say. Not because of the substance, but because in the spring meetings, it was agreed. And I thought there was unanimity in the opinion that there was going to be one voice, and it was going to be Bob Bowlesby speaking on expansion. And would not be surprised if those comments didn't raise some eyebrows around the league.
Dave Bourne not being a shrinking violet on this issue.
No, he is not.
Well, Buddy Hield, 10 points in the first 5.5 minutes of this game. Since then, 4 points. 2 of 8 in the 23 minutes since that opening flurry.
Well, Texas Tech needs to go inside to Zach Smith.
Smith's got it now. Hands off for Gocher. Gocher, little hesitation. Got it over the top of the defense. Tech back in front.
Yeah, beautiful jump stop. We've seen Jordan Woodard do that dribble penetration jump stop all evening long. That time, Todrick Gocher with the same type play.
Oklahoma feeling the pressure now, Reed. Hield. Swatted away by Devontae Williams.
Now, I don't know if pressure is the right thing to say, but we did talk to Oklahoma staff and said, what were the kids' demeanor? And said, very, very serious. And you and I both said, is that good or is that bad? And they said, well, I'll tell you after the game. But, you know, Texas Tech right now, you can kind of see their confidence growing every minute as this game goes along.
Oklahoma needs more of that. Hield with 2. He's got 16 now, 3 shy of 2,000. Smith on the interior for Ross, kicks it back out. Evans, shot fake. All alone goes in.
Yeah, but see, the offense is so much better when the ball starts inside. Go inside and then bring it out and attack the closeouts.
Evans playing big again. He had 17 against Iowa State last week. Lead back to 2 for Texas Tech. We go under 10 minutes to play in this ball game. Cousins.
Zach Smith doing a nice job denying Buddy Hield the ball way out away from the basket. Oh, big shot by Isaiah Cousins. After he hit that shot, he turned and put his palms up towards Buddy, saying, I'm trying to get you the ball.
First basket for Cousins here in the second half. That was almost tipped in by Buford. Pulls it out of there for Oklahoma. Buddy Hield around for Spangler. They wanted a traveling call. No whistle. Woodard missed from 3. Buford, the stick back. No. Who's got it?
Yeah, no, that's going to be Texas Tech ball.
No, they're giving it to Oklahoma. That's Tony Padilla who made the call on the line.
But Dante Buford was laying out of bounds when the ball hit him, and I think what the official said was it hit the floor out of bounds before it hit Dante Buford. Officials here, the crowd here is taking a little disagreement with that call. Buddy Hield had 10 points in the first 5 minutes of this game, and in the remaining 24 minutes, the subsequent 24 minutes, just 6 points on 3 of 10 field goals.
Ross flashed. Williams missed it, almost lost it. Now Gocher throws it up. Wasn't a comfortable shot for Todrick Gocher, and then Spangler gets the rebound and is fouled.
Boy, that was a strong rebound by Ryan Spangler. Look, if you're Texas Tech, I don't understand why you're going to start chunking up jump shots. Slam that ball inside to Aaron Ross or Zach Smith. But look, this is a full-grown man rebound right here. I mean, he grabs that ball with 2 hands and comes down, and that is strong.
Oklahoma in the double bonus. And that's why Spangler's going to play at the next level. I mean, he's a stretch big. He can score, he can rebound.
Well, you look, when you start trying to project kids to the NBA, you say, do they have a skill that will translate into the next league? And he's as good a rebounder as this league has seen in a while. He can really rebound that basketball.
Sooners by 1. What hustle by Gocher to get back defensively and find Ross to keep it in bounds. Boy, the senior leadership from him tonight has been outstanding.
That fast break started as a 4-on-none, and somehow Texas Tech ends up with the basketball. Remarkable hustle back inside the ball by Todrick Gocher.
Five to shoot. Evans got it off and hits. Boy, he's hit some big shots in recent weeks. Hield spun off his feet, lost it, and Texas Tech comes out of there with it. Five turnovers now for Hield. Oklahoma has 10 total.
Boy, if you're Tech, I keep saying the same thing. Take that ball inside to Aaron Ross or to Zach Smith.
Williams, no. Gocher tipped it back for Ross. Gocher with the left hand, a little strong. Under 7 to play. Cousins all the way in, got it, and one. Big basket by Isaiah Cousins, a hustle play, but Tech has been hustling too tonight.
This fast break started with nobody back, and somehow Todrick Gocher not only gets back in the play, not only stops the basket, but retains possession, allowing Keenan Evans to come off a screen and knock down a three. What a terrific sequence for the Red Raiders. We're all tied up in Lubbock.
Crunch time now, under 7 to play, tied at 52.
Todrick Gocher, watch him come from the left into your screen and watch the body control. Does not go out of bounds, to turn his body and throw it diagonal back across his body out there to Aaron Ross. That is a spectacular hustle play by Zach Smith's teammate Todrick Gocher.
Isaiah Cousins is going to be at the line here for Oklahoma.
You know, it's interesting. You look up and you see that flurry and you think, man, Tech's going on a run, and you think they've delivered a haymaker to Oklahoma, and suddenly you look up and Isaiah Cousins is shooting a layup, knocking down, shooting a free throw, and here they are all tied up. And Oklahoma has really withstood a punch from the Red Raiders.
Cousins not a great free throw shooter, and there's a turnover by Texas Tech as it sails into the front row as Evans trying to get it into the front court.
We thought a key to Texas Tech's game tonight was going to be getting to the free throw line because they're so good. Just 13, and they have only made 7. And then the #1 3-point shooting team in the country, Oklahoma Sooners, 0 for 8 in the second half, shooting just 27%.
Oh, nice move by Spangler to free himself for a basket. Yeah. We talked about the 33%, the last game, a season low against Kansas.
Well,
tonight,
below that
36%.
Right now. Yeah, open floor. They got no post players looking for driving angles. And
tried to shoot. Ross. Better hurry. Got it ahead of the horn. Tied up again. 14 for Ross.
You got to keep going to Spangler.
Spangler calling for it, and Dingell Walker will be on the line for Oklahoma.
And Ross, look at the shot clock up at the top of your screen, and just about a perfect possession for Texas Tech. Run 29.5 seconds off the shot clock and end up with a layup.
Evans just picked up his 4th, so he's going to go to the bench for Texas Tech.
Dingell Walker has struggled at the free throw line coming into this game, just 58%, 7 for 12 for the season.
Lead back to the Sooners. 5.5 to go. Partners knew that these next two games, this one and Saturday at West Virginia, could determine if they stay alive for that Big 12 regular season title. Ross here tonight would be devastating. Ross, turnaround. Doesn't get the roll. Spangler, another rebound. He's got 8 now. Hield.
Good defense by Tyler Gocher.
Transition was cut off. Got the 3 away on the other wing. Belongs to Texas Tech. Hield now 3 of 10 from 3.
I'm such a Lon Kruger fan. You know, Buddy Hield's a little down, and he looked over at his coach, and his coach just smiled real big and clapped his hands and said, "All's good, let's go." And it's hard not to be a Lon Kruger fan.
He is a good cheerleader for his guys.
Such a good player.
Ross rattles it in.
Partner, we got ourselves a basketball game in Lubbock, Texas.
Nice win over a top 5 team 2008 against then number 5 Texas. This is the 14th lead change. Cousins got away with a travel perhaps. And Cousins is fouled. And that's on Justin Gray. His 3rd. Hield started hot, you mentioned it. And since the first 5.5 minutes, not much.
He was 3 for 3 before he finally missed a 3-point field goal in the first 5 minutes, and has really cooled off since then.
The foul shot coming for Cousins. Woodard is back in. Hield is going to take a break down on the sideline.
Probably a pretty good substitution by Lon Kruger. Get Buddy out, let him sit down a second, get a drink of water, but he isn't going to stay over there very long.
Again, we're tied.
OU is so resilient. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, they have just taken a punch after punch from Texas Tech, and you look up at the score and still all knotted up.
We saw them do that against Kansas. Got down in that game big and then came back, made it close at the end, couldn't finish it out, but never going to go away, that's for sure. Two to shoot. Ross again has to get it off ahead of the horn. Does, but cleans it up on the glass for Oklahoma.
Really good defense that time by Kadeem Ladden.
And now Lon Kruger calls a timeout. 2 remaining. 3:40 to go in a tie game in Lubbock, Texas. Texas Tech has the number 3 team in the country nervous here tonight.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Well, Jordan Woodard's had a big night for Oklahoma scoring-wise. His team is up by 2, but overall, Oklahoma not shooting well, and they haven't really been shooting well. The number 1 shooting 3-point team in the country at 44%, but just 32% the 3 games prior to this one, and tonight, Reed, 26% from outside the arc.
Yeah, with the exception of Jordan Woodard, they have really struggled. You know, Buddy Hield hit the first 3 he took, but Jordan Woodard's been solid the entire game, and boy, he needed a good shooting night to kind of get out of the funk that he was in, but he is 6 for 13 from the floor and 3 of 7 from the line, perfect from the free throw line. But look at those numbers for the season. Oklahoma, number 1 3-point field goal percentage team in America, and shooting just 26% here in Lubbock tonight.
Gocher to inbound. They've got 3 seconds to shoot after the timeout and 3 minutes to play. Williams slipped. That's a shot clock violation. Yeah, that's a tough situation, Reed.
Well, when you have 3 seconds on the shot clock, ideally you don't want to throw the ball in the dead corner of the court, and Tubby Smith would have liked to have seen that. See, he said throw that ball up there, throw in Zach Smith around to the front of the rim is where you'd like for that inbounds pass to have gone.
Oklahoma's biggest lead in this game at any one time, 6 points. Trying to add to their 2-point lead. Woodard is bumped. That's on Thomas, his third, and that's going to send Jordan Woodard back to the free throw line. Both these teams at the line the rest of the way in this game. Oklahoma in the double bonus. We said that the free throw edge certainly belongs to Texas Tech. They haven't shot it particularly well tonight.
Yeah, just 13 free throw attempts for the Red Raiders. For Jordan Woodard and his teammates, they have now about to attempt the 21st free throw.
Two big makes. 61-57. We talked about all the close games that Texas Tech has been in this season. Started to turn a corner, winning some lately. And another close one here again tonight. Williams. He's had a tough night shooting. And that was a close look. He's 1 for 6 from the field.
Well, he's gotten a lot of close looks. I bet he's only taken one jump shot outside the paint tonight.
He's their leading scorer at 12 points per game. But Tubby set him on the bench about 6 games ago to quite a spark under him with mixed results. Gocher got it from the corner.
Well, Zach Smith passed up a dunk to kick that ball out to the corner to Gocher.
Cousins had it deflected by Gocher. Here's Evans now in transition. Attacks and got it. Buddy.
Airball.
He doesn't look himself.
No, he does not. Boy, Devontae Williams, you could not play better defense on Buddy Hield than what he just did.
Tubby Smith calling a timeout.
Got so loud in here that we didn't get a chance to brag on Keenan Evans. He had a 1-on-3, and I think Tubby Smith stood up and was saying, "Whoa, cowboy, pull the reins back." And boy, he put the throttle down and went it all the way to the rim. A beautiful basket through 3 defenders. Watch Keenan Evans finish this up at the top. Look at Tubby Smith. You see him, he stood up and he was saying, "No, no, 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 yes." Oh, big basket by Keenan Evans back in the game with 4 fouls.
Let's look ahead to Saturday. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV, part of Rivalry Week presented by Wendy's. Number 14 Kentucky taking on Texas A&M. Had lost 4 in a row before a win over Ole Miss last night. And then Saturday primetime in the NBA on ABC, the Warriors and the Clippers. Steph head into Staples Center. 62-61 Texas Tech. They have won 3 of their last 4. They have won 2 straight against top 25 opponents. Can they add Oklahoma to that string of top 25 victories?
For Zach Smith and the faithful fans in Lubbock, this is the motherlode of opportunity for these Red Raiders.
Five to shoot. Ross steps into a long 2. Hustling for the rebound is Smith. They got a timeout? Yes. Gocher called for the timeout, and Rick Crawford granted it. Texas Tech has one left.
Tyler Gocher was not involved in that play. He was standing out here beyond the three-point line, but the official was right behind him. And now, equally important is, even though the timeout was called out on the floor, the ball was underneath the basket, so it's going to be a baseline out-of-bounds play. And they may look at that again, but I think they pointed over there, baseline out-of-bounds is where it'll be inbounded. Watch Tyler Gocher to the bottom of your screen, and the ball goes on the floor, and watch him turn to the official and call a timeout. A heads-up play by the senior.
Will be the trigger man. Gets it into Smith. Just over a minute to go.
New shot clock.
1 minute.
Jay Williams. Bring it back to his point guard, Keenan Evans. Evans for 3.
The ball's in there deep.
About a 4-second difference between game and shot clock. They can be patient here, but a foul.
Keenan Evans, a 78% free throw shooter, and Oklahoma was not going to foul, and Lon Kruger ran almost to half court and watched the tap out. Not a good shot by Keenan Evans, but Aaron Ross has made plays the entire. Oh, that wasn't Aaron Ross. That was Kadeem Ladin that tapped that ball out. I thought Aaron Ross got a touch on it.
Gets the front end. Will get the bonus. Got him both.
Well, if I'm Oklahoma, I run this out. I do not call a timeout and allow the defense to get set up. You may want to run a screen with Buddy, but Woodard is one. Now they're going to call a timeout and talk about it.
Each team with one remaining.
Well, the thought is when you have a senior team and you have so much leadership on the floor as Oklahoma, you don't necessarily have to call a timeout. This is a situation that you practice, and maybe the challenge for Lon Kruger and his coaches as they put their heads together is that Buddy is so out of sync right now that what you ordinarily would do in this situation, you might rethink. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to this huddle and Buddy doesn't look him in the eyes and say, "Give me the ball."
Three-point shooting is terrific, but tonight it's been an Achilles heel. 26%. They are 6 of 23 tonight from outside the arc. They are down 3 with 29 seconds left.
Well, tonight they started out the first 5 minutes extremely hot, and then since then, boy, they have just gone ice cold from the three-point line. 3 of their last 18 from the three-point line for the Sooners.
Before tonight, everyone would have said, even after the loss to Kansas, that this is a #1 seed. But a loss here tonight to Texas Tech likely takes them out of that picture.
You know, the people in Lubbock would say that it puts Zach Smith square in the picture. I mean, what an opportunity right now. And it'll be interesting to see what play Lon Kruger has drawn up. Buddy Hield in the far corner at the bottom right corner of your screen.
Woodard gets the 2. It's a 1-point game with 20 seconds left. Poor pressure defense. They get it to Evans, and he's fouled by Spangler.
See, ordinarily you'd say that's not a bad play. If you get a layup, just go take the layup. And the challenge is for Lon Kruger is that Texas Tech is such a good free throw shooting team. They've not shot well tonight, but the #1 free throw shooting team, in fact, in the Big 12, Keenan Evans and the Red Raiders.
Evans 4 for 5 tonight. He was 8 of 9 at the line in Waco in that upset. Matched a career best. We said it might come down to free throws, Reed.
Keenan Evans has stepped up and hit 3 big ones.
Two-point game. 15 seconds left. And a timeout called by Oklahoma. They're out of timeouts. Lon Kruger wants to talk this possession over. Down 2 with 14.2 to play.
Did Lon Kruger call that timeout? in a live ball situation, it's supposed to be only a player. Buddy Hield was over there, so Buddy may have done it. It's hard. That's the hardest rule for these officials, because you've gone your entire life. Instinctively, you hear somebody over your shoulder from the bench yell timeout, and you just blow the whistle. But Buddy may have called it. Well, for Lon Kruger now, a lot of options. You don't have to have a three. You don't have to go for the win. And so you run a set, but exactly like they just showed, if you get a driving angle, go ahead and take that ball to the basket. If you're the Red Raiders, conversely, you're saying whatever you do, don't foul and let's live to fight another possession. If they're driving to the basket, do not foul. This is the same set they just ran, but they flipped sides of the floor. We saw Buddy Hield in the far right corner last possession. Now he's at the top of your screen in the left corner.
Here we go. Cousins, the alley-oop. Gosher's got it. They've done it again. For the first time in school history, they've knocked off 3 straight top 25 opponents.
Partner, I don't want to be a stick in the mud, but there was a lot of contact on that last play inside. And boy, Tech was so fortunate that they didn't call a foul. I thought Spangler got hit in the back of the head. Lon Kruger did too. But take nothing away from Texas Tech. First time in school history to defeat 3 consecutive ranked opponents. Absolutely remarkable. Let's take a look at that last play again. A lob for Kadeem Lattin coming from the right side of your screen, and it was a good pass, but I don't think there was a foul there. Well, up under Ross, but oh boy.
And it looked like Williams may have gotten over the back of Spangler.
Great win for Texas Tech.
3rd straight top 25 win for Tubby Smith's Texas Tech Red Raiders. They were the first 4 out for Joe Lenardi before the game started. It's obvious they're playing their best basketball of the year, and they are playing themselves into the conversation for the NCAA tournament. Now signature wins over Texas, Iowa State, Baylor, and number 3, Oklahoma, 65-63, the final here tonight. They celebrate in Lubbock. Coming up next, Colorado State versus USC. For now, we send it to the studio. Matt Schick and Dino Gaudio.